Tales from the Boot.
How y'all are? Hey, it's the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. And this is our Halloween spectacular. I am joined by Halloween baby Deb.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a spooktacular.
The spooktacular.
Actually, that was some bad grammar, and I found that terrifying.
Yeah.
You start us with that.
Oh, well.
How y'all are?
Yeah, how y'all are.
All right. Well, here we are.
I was channeling Justin Wilson.
Oh, Michelle. Yeah, I missed.
Well, how
the
y'all
Justin.
are?
I see. But not Emerald, because he
can't even pronounce New Orleans properly.
It was odd.
New Orleans? New Orleans?
I don't know. He distracted me for a moment.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's
anyway.
okay. He has a bigger bank account than me.
As I was saying, this is the Long in the Boot podcast. I just said that, but it's still coming to you from the heel of the boot.
You had to regroup.
Yeah, I had to regroup. And I'm your host, G Long, and across again. Yeah, I just said all that, didn't I? Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's her birthday on Halloween, and so we're doing a Halloween show.
Well, we were going to do the show whether it was Halloween or not. You want to do your phone numbers and stuff? You got that memorized? Come on, spit it out.
If you want to get a hold of Long in the Boot and wish us a happy Halloween or a happy birthday to Deb, it's 337-502-9011 and the email longintheboot@gmail.com. And this podcast will be going out, well, on Halloween.
You're going to do an early one?
Early
release?
It's going to come out 2 days early.
Yeah, all right.
So why not?
We do that sometimes as a free.
Sure. It was a special day.
It is a special day. It is the most special day of all the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay, nobody wants you to do that.
Oh, they all wanted me to do that.
No, they don't want you to do that. So, what's been going on?
Not much.
No.
Nothing. Uh-oh. Oh, dear.
Oh, the power
just blinked twice.
2 times.
2 times. Blink twice. Hopefully that, and make that 3 times.
Okay, so.
What is happening?
Either the wind is picked up or somebody doesn't want us to record a spooktacular podcast.
That could be it.
Well, I have special abilities according to all wives' tales since the beginning of Halloween.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's not me saying that. That is everybody that has ever known me or has known somebody that has a Halloween birthday feeding into the stereotype that Halloween babies are
evil.
Evil, gifted. It depends on your perspective.
Gifted.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
What's your gift?
Apparently I've got a gift between the two worlds, the living and the dead.
Ooh.
Legend has it that people born on Halloween have the power to see and talk to the dead in varying degrees. They're blessed with special protections from evil due to all the dark spirits that are loose on the night they are born. Because the veil is down, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never experienced
that's kind of
that.
The whole thing about Halloween in general.
Yeah. And so I guess, but that's the whole point too, perspective.
So anyway, we're gonna just kind of play around with Halloween.
Well, we do the past,
but sure,
the present,
and anything else that we feel might need to go in there.
Anything else, whatever comes up as we peruse the topic.
So I guess we should start with history. Yeah.
Are you going to start there? You didn't want to discuss like any random crap that's happening currently in your life? Your dog,
well, my dog got sick. That's depressing.
It's not depressing because he's still here with us.
Yeah, but he got sick the other day and was hacking up some blood.
Some bloody
in a Halloween manner.
Yes.
And so we had to take him to the doctor.
Yeah.
And he either has pneumonia and
Yeah.
broke a blood vessel coughing, or he has a tumor.
So we wait and see. He is much better than he was.
He seems to be better. He's not choking now and gagging.
Yes.
And we have to go spend another $150 to get another x-ray and see if...
Or we just leave it to the fates. And
there you go.
yeah, that could happen too.
Could be his time.
I
his
will say,
skein
I will
may
say,
be running out.
It may be. I got him for a birthday present 11 years ago.
Yep.
My Facebook feed is filled with your beautiful children in terrifying and gorgeous costumes. All the little people. It makes me happy.
It's the best time of year.
It is. It makes me so happy. Y'all are having
There was
such
nothing
fun.
better.
I loved it when, yes.
Oh, we hit that sweet spot in Halloween too, man.
Yeah.
Where it was just everybody was in on the game.
Yeah,
As long as
nobody was dissing Halloween.
Well, as long as you
back
lived
then.
in the right areas, you had to kind of live in a suburb or a neighborhood to really to reap the full
not
benefit.
so much out here because, well, we would drive into town when our kids were young.
Yeah.
And go into good neighborhoods.
Go glom onto those people.
The good neighborhoods. And,
My God, if you went walking here, you'd walk for 6 hours and you get like 7 pieces of candy.
You walk off the calories.
And maybe attacked by dogs or hawks or whatever.
Who knows? There's all manner of things out here. See how scary that is.
It is in the country.
So that
the
makes
hills
me...
have eyes, you know.
We don't have any hills. We live in Louisiana, man.
Oh, well, little tiny hills.
No hills.
Little ones.
It's a bump. So the kids are out having fun, and that's wonderful. And I do miss that time. I'm not a overly sentimental person, but
I'll say.
What are you implying?
Nothing.
You look me in the eye and tell me what you were trying to say to me.
You said it. I didn't think I need to add anything to
Just
it.
said I'm not sentimental, but this time of year does get me a little. I miss my babies. Miss dressing them up and painting their faces and making them terrifying.
You got dogs.
Yeah. I love those babies too, but I don't want to do that to them. They have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, and their Halloween bag is gross after they go trick-or-treating.
All right. Maybe we should delve right into the topic.
Well, Halloween.
So, what's the history, sir? Tell us, Mr. History Man.
Well, I can give you a little bit of info, I suppose, although some people may know some of this.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
But because of Halloween's, I don't know how to put it, because it has a macabre theme running through it, people tend to have all kinds of possibilities as to why it all happened. But one of the things that you come up with very quickly is it's not just us that celebrate a tradition very similar to Halloween. It's one of the oldest traditions in the world, and it celebrates actually the essential element of all human beings, the living and the dead.
Yes.
The fact that we live and then we die. And it's about that very thing.
That cycle.
But it also often reflects the seasons as well. Summer going into winter. Things are dying.
Harvest, and yes, you reap the last of one. And
every recorded civilization has a ritual observance about what happens to people when they die. They can't find any civilizations that
it's
didn't have something.
It's like the game playing. Remember, every culture had games, and every culture has to deal with death.
Yeah, and I guess it is. It's the one thing that we all share.
Yes, it's universal.
It's a universal theme,
and yet singularly intimate and personal.
So Mexico has Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
China has, I love this, Tomb Sweeping Day, where they literally go and clean out the tombs.
Catholics do that here. I spent many days throughout the year with my aunt that we would go and clean the grave sites of the family.
Oh, and weed them and all that kind of stuff.
Sit, maybe have lunch.
Interesting.
In the graveyard. I don't know if that's just Catholics. Maybe I don't know much about the other religions.
And of course, before we talk about it, we also have to mention, and it will come up again. Christian groups through the years have tried to demonize and denigrate Halloween, claiming that I love this quote. Samhain was a Celtic god of the dead, and Halloween was his feast.
Well, let's start with pronunciation first.
First of all, Samhain, one word or two words, like a name.
Yes.
Samhain. Yeah, Mr. Hain.
I'm going to go look him up.
Anyway, it turns out that comes from an 18th century British engineer named Charles Vallancey, who wrote on the Samhain festival,
with
a poor understanding of the culture, and his his lies in his book have been repeated ever since.
Well, yeah, but he didn't have Google, so it just became part of the lore, I guess.
And I can make the argument that the church is why we still know what Samhain was.
Well, sure.
And so anyway, that's where we're going to get to. So we'll talk about that first, since it's Western European that we're looking at. Samhain.
Yes,
the festival.
The Celts, the Celtic
Yes.
festival.
Samhain, or Samhain, your choice.
Oh, you're going to give them every pronunciation.
The Celtic New Year's festival.
End of summer.
And that's all it means. Summer's end.
Yeah,
that's
end
it.
of summer, beginning of dark, cold winter.
What the Celts believed is that the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead was thinnest at this time.
At midnight, particularly.
Well, that came, I think, probably later.
Oh, yeah, they added to
They
it.
probably still did this for a week.
Well, because November 1st is Day of the Dead for Latin
And
America.
They also believe that this is where people who have not moved on could then contact those that are still here to
and say,
either reassure them or to offer them something.
or say,
whatever.
hey, solve my crime. Somebody killed me. You need to help me.
But we really don't know hardly anything about how Samhain was celebrated because the church Christianized Samhain.
Quickly.
And as they did with almost all the pagan festivals. And mostly the only information we have is from some Irish monks who recorded the pre-Christian history of their people and also pagans, but denigrating it in their writings.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, to
And
not
so-
build it up, to
To knock it down.
Yeah, to knock it down. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The Celts actually dressed up. They wore costumes, mostly animal heads and skins, and
Mm-hmm.
they tried to tell each other's fortunes. And probably a good example. Well, so then today we should all just dress as animals. If we're going to be traditional in our costumes.
Well,
we
it's
should
probably
just-
easiest because you're not going to get in trouble for,
Oh, I
insulting
don't
some
know.
group.
Some furry group gets
Yeah, probably so.
upset. You try to, well, I'll try not to go there.
The one thing that is absolutely sure in the Celtic festival Samhain is they included this for their celebrations, stocking up on supplies for the winter,
Sure.
slaughtering cattle and drying the meat. Oh, that's spooky. Look at all that blood.
Well, that's where they would have gotten the skins and stuff, right?
And disposing of the slaughtered cattle in bones in bone fires,
yeah.
which eventually became bonfires.
Bonfires.
Yep.
Yes.
And there was much feasting and drinking, and the possibility that otherworldly visitors were at the party, they just couldn't see them. So they were celebrating
Unless
as
you
if
were
they
a
were there.
baby born on Halloween.
Yes.
They could communicate.
Except in that case.
Except it, though.
Departed loved ones were expected. They were welcomed. People put out food for the dead.
Mm-hmm.
They could also appear as wee folk.
As we folk.
Yeah, like fairies and elves. Then those could be the departed ones coming back in that guise.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
The Catholics, the Romans took it on to All Saints' Day on November 1st, right?
Yeah, the Christians came to Ireland in the 5th century, and there was a bonfire that was lit there every night on October 31st, signaling the beginning of Samhain, when it was answered by a larger fire on another hill across from it.
Ah.
And they know that for sure.
So a communication of sorts.
I guess, yeah. Then it goes into some stuff about the Druid religion, but let's face it, if I try to say all these names,
Yeah.
and it's actually, what was it? The hill is named for a Druidess daughter who was, get this, raped 3 times by the sons of somebody named Simon Magus, like a magician, Magus.
Oh, Magus.
He is infamous for his confrontation with St. Peter in Acts 8:9 through 24. Anyway, she gave birth to triplets on that hill before dying there.
So are we to assume then one from each raping?
Well, this is the first time that we find the Bible intersecting with Druid Celtic ideology.
Well, it does say here that All Saints' Day,
or iconology.
All Saints' Day was celebrated similarly to Samhain with bonfires, parades, dressing up in costumes, but they dressed up as saints and angels and
There you go.
devils. Mm-hmm.
So when she died after giving birth, she aligned herself with St. Peter. And that is how, of course, Ireland started becoming Christian.
Yes.
And this is all pre St. Patrick, but once he got there, it was solidified. and the Christianization of almost all pagan symbols, temples, festivals, and legends and iconography, and all were all kind of
just
absorbed.
Absorbed, yes. We will assimilate you. Christianity will assimilate you.
That's right. And what they did is they moved a day. The church, and I thought this was pretty smart, actually. Good old Pope Boniface the Fourth moved All Saints' Day from May 13th.
Mm-hmm. I have that information.
Yeah, and then moved it to the date that we have today.
Well, and so All Saints' Day then was All Hallows Mass. All Hallow Miss. All Hallow Miss.
And so it became, and so 31st becomes All Hallows Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to redeem all things pagan.
And then, of course, Halloween comes to America.
That's right.
A little limited for the colonials in New England, their rigid Protestant belief system.
Yeah. they also moved a Roman festival called Lemuria into it as well. They pulled that in as well to get rid of that one.
Okay.
And because it had been on May 13th as well.
Well, so what is it on the calendar, May 13th? Is that
was just their
beginning of summer? I don't know.
Who knows? I don't have that information. But I thought it was interesting.
I don't know how you could find it.
That on the Romans, when they celebrated Lemuria, would give people gifts in the forms of people and dead people, gifts in the form of grain, salt, bread, wine, wreaths. So you've got those two festivals, and then you start looking, and there were a whole pile of pagan festivals that were sort of all just pulled into Halloween, and they're mostly Roman. Pagan Roman.
Well, yeah.
And it was just pulled in, and those festivals kind of went away. Parentalia, Feralia, Lemuria.
Well, you just can't celebrate all things all the time. At some point, you got to just go to work.
Right.
You can't keep dressing up and having bonfires and handing crap out. And it just gets, you got to go to work.
Yeah.
Can't celebrate.
And so that's how it all began. And we're talking hundreds of years, of course. It evolved, and bonfires were still lit, and the turning of the season was still observed. Now you would pray and honor the saints.
Yeah.
In the 16th century, though, something new popped up, and it was the poor going about.
The poor popped up in the 16th century?
There were poor before that, but they stayed underground. Anyway, they would go out and start knocking on doors, asking for soul cakes. Which were little cakes that were made.
Not like a urine cake.
No, they looked similar to hot cross buns, but they were cakes, and they had a little cross on them.
So they essentially wanted free food. They were beggars.
No, you gave them a soul cake, and they promised to pray for you when they went to mass.
Oh, so it's like a little prayer chain.
Yeah, well,
but you get to eat it.
Why did they do this? Purgatory.
Well, we hadn't had that prior to.
Well,
that time, right? I mean, purgatory wasn't original.
They thought a soul lingered in torment unless elevated by prayer or money paid to a partner.
Oh, I see.
After the Protestant Reformation, souling, as it became known, continued in Britain. Only now the Protestant young and poor offered to pray for the people of the house and their loved ones instead of those in purgatory, while Catholics still kept up the older tradition, as Catholics are known today.
They are a traditional group, aren't
seem
they?
To be traditionalists,
just a really traditional group. Well, are we going to get to the U.S.?
Well, yeah, and interesting that you should ask. When the British came to North America, they brought the traditions with them. The Puritans, who refused to observe any holidays which might be associated with pagan beliefs, including Christmas and Easter, still continued to celebrate Guy Fawkes Day on November 5th.
I couldn't let go of their heritage.
But they would not celebrate any of the Halloween stuff.
Yes.
But less than a century later, during the Irish potato famine, Samhain and the rituals of Samhain came to the United
because you
States.
had enough Irish here who were continuing because
and
it was
celebrating All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day. And, of course, the jack-o'-lantern. The jack-o'-lantern becomes part of Halloween in
It was
America.
Originally a turnip.
Yeah, a stingy jack.
A turnip.
Yeah, it's stingy jack.
How hard would it be to carve little tiny eyes in a turnip?
They've got one here. They got a picture of one.
A turnip.
I've got a turnip lantern. And they hollowed them out.
I know. That's hard work.
Yeah, you got to, right?
Yeah, you better have some time set aside to do this. And you can't let kids do it,
and
right?
a rudimentary lathe. But no, Stingy Jack was a clever drunken con man who fooled the devil into banning him from hell.
Yes.
But because of his sinful life, he also could not go to heaven. And after his death, he roamed the world carrying a small lantern made of a turnip with a hot ember inside from hell, inside to light his way. Scholars believe the legend evolved from sightings of will-o'-the-wisp, swamp and march gases which glow all night. Makes sense. So on All Hallows Eve, the Irish hollowed out turnips and carved them with little faces and put candles inside and went souling. And they would be protected from Stingy Jack. I don't know why I said stringy a minute ago. Oh, well. Stingy.
I think you said it several times.
Okay, well, Stingy Jack. There. I said it. I fixed it.
Pumpkins are stringy. I don't think turnips are stringy.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well.
There. Maybe that's where you got all that crap from.
The Irish traded the turnip for the pumpkin as it was much easier to carve.
Yes, it's a much easier thing to deal with.
And the Guy Fawkes Day celebrations in the United States ended with, get this, the Revolutionary War.
Oh.
Makes sense.
It does.
You know.
There's no sense in continuing on with that because then you're a traitor to your country if you're still carrying on with that British crap.
So anyway.
Put that tea aside and get you some coffee beans, man.
But what about Halloween the way we celebrate it now?
What about?
Or, well, did.
Well,
the one we
you said all the new immigrants came in the 19th century.
But let's move up to the 20th century.
Oh, like where we spend money and dress up? And, yeah. Not like we dressed up. When you and I dressed up, they were primitive little costumes. We look kind of terrifying now when you look back at the costumes then. Today's kids look amazing. The makeups and all the money that moms and dads spend, it's just crazy.
Well, prior to the 20th century, Halloween became a real problem across the country because of vandalism.
It's tricks
or
treat,
right? But it was mostly tricks.
Well, that's damn teenagers. You know that it's teenagers.
But you're gonna love this. So in the 20th century, in Hiawatha, Kansas,
that's cultural appropriation. You can't have your name that. No.
It says the Halloween night of 1897. So we'll say 20. Okay, close enough. Considerable damage. The sewer pipe of the city was rolled into the big ditch. Thomas's wagon was broken at the hinges. Gates were taken off. Sidewalks torn up.
Sidewalks?
Yes. In Wichita, 1900, Chief Cubbin has issued an order that all boys, large or small, caught molesting property will be punished by fine and possibly imprisonment because so many kids were out doing bad things.
You know, women believe that early on, young women believed that on Halloween, they could divine the name or see the face of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. So that reminds me of the whole Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, you know, and you'd see the face in the mirror at night. Did you try that when you were a kid?
No.
You didn't do that?
Nope.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Well, I believe
But I did have a Ouija board, so.
I did too. It never really worked. It was just crap. Yes. I knew it was.
it's just crap. A piece of wood with some stuff on it.
So, you know, in America, of course, we wanted to turn it into more of a community and neighborly get-together thing, more than pranks and witchcraft.
Apparently, Hiawatha had real problems, including an old delivery wagon filled with burnable material and set on fire and hauling it through the streets.
Did they set their town on fire?
They caused all kinds of havoc. Havoc, I tell you.
Well, that kind of stuff it kind of seeps into the fabric of a country, and people start believing that shit.
Well, a woman named Elizabeth Krebs.
Krebs?
Yep. She got tired of having her garden
dug up
and the rest of the town vandalized once a year by marauding children wearing masks, and initially using her own resources organized a giant party for the young people, where she hoped she would tire them out enough
that they wouldn't put on the mask,
that they would have no energy for destruction.
Did it work?
No. She underestimated their determination, and the community was still vandalized as usual. However, 1 year later, she involved the entire town. Brought in a band, held costume contest, put on a parade, and her plan worked. People of all ages enjoyed the festive rather than disruptive Halloween. News of her success traveled immediately outside of Kansas to other towns and cities, which adopted the same course and established Halloween parties, which included costume contests, parade, music, food, dancing, and sweet treats accompanied by frightening decorations.
Essentially, it was like a payola. She distracted them from their destructive behavior, gave them an alternate, better opportunity to have fun and not wreck the town.
Yeah, and they still celebrate in Hiawatha, of course. She's considered by
the mother of
the mother of modern Halloween.
Of the community, neighborly Halloween.
Some places had Halloween stuff going on forever and didn't have this kind of problem, but...
Well, my question then is, your town, what the hell's wrong with your teenagers and why can't you control them?
No kidding. Well, candy.
So this is the beginning.
Maybe that's all that was.
This is the beginning of that damn toilet paper ritual.
Well, in Canada, for some reason, going out and doing mischief gradually morphed into kids going door to door asking for candy. And if they didn't get
then
candy,
they did crap to your house.
So we were teaching kids extortion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like a payola. We're gonna they're little mafiosa kids, and they're gonna torture your property if you don't hand them over something.
Exactly. So in 1927, the first time in print, the phrase
what year?
1927.
Oh, okay.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
That's the first time anybody put it in.
Truth or dare.
Yeah, right.
We love that. Do you see how humans are?
Right.
It's just so typically human.
And then, of course, you know who screwed it up. You know who messed up Halloween? Hitler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Christians.
World War II. No, that's more of a modern thing with Christians, actually.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that they became so paranoid.
Sugar ration cut the world's candy supply.
Yeah, you weren't making all these candies.
Oh, my God.
Then you had to start handing out like apples, which, that can get your house destroyed. Give a kid an apple today and see what happens to your property.
Yeah.
Raisins, a box of raisins.
Oh, that's a house. That's a house egging right there.
And today it's going to be everybody because social media. They're going to put up a picture of your box of raisins. They're going to give your address, and you are going to no peace.
So basically, folks, if I can see little kids walking around. It's a nice house you got here, Governor.
You want to keep it nice?
Be a shame if something was to happen to it.
All right.
I'll take Milky Way and the Three Musketeers on October 31st. If you don't have it, the VIG will be 2 more candy bars.
Full size. Full size. Don't you try it with those minis. That's just inflation bullshit.
And don't be trying to foist any of those fun size candy bars on me.
All right, stop that. You stop that.
Anyway, so we're up to pretty much the modern era.
You got us to the modern, and now we have all these superstitions attached to all of this, and some places, like when we first moved here, Halloween was
frowned upon.
It was
by many people.
By many. Okay, not everybody.
No.
I couldn't make those statements, but it really did seem kind of like, oh, dear God.
Oh, no.
Don't tell anybody your birthday's Halloween. How many times in my life have I been asked, are you a witch?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Well, and I trained as a teacher not to say, wow, that's a stupid question.
Huh. You must have learned teaching from someone else.
When I was asked that this year, yes, it still happens every year. Are you a witch? Well,
awesome.
If I was a witch, I probably would have figured out a way to already retire. So no, I might not be a witch.
That was always for me. That's how I knew witches didn't exist.
because
whenever I'd read stories and not one witch just went poof and got herself out of trouble.
No, it always had to be a curse that was going to be after their death. They were still going to have to die.
Yeah.
I guess
that's why they had to have proofs that really you couldn't prove you were innocent.
Sure.
So they could just go ahead and execute you.
Kill you anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole hocus pocus. You're gonna be cursed and all of your family is cursed after my death. And well, why the hell didn't you just curse them before and you'd still be alive?
Look, I poked that mole with a needle and it's bleeding. She must be a witch.
Yes, I know. I'm about to start the Salem witch trials at school, so yeah, it's always a fun time. Those Puritans and
teenagers
and they're fun. Yeah.
Well, it's teenagers.
I never know if the question is serious. I don't think
that's not a scary story about witches, though. That's a story about lust. And
well, no,
they were all pulsing.
That's a story about McCarthyism. That's what that's all about. You had to add the lust because we need that in our stories. Without the lust element, because in history, really, there's no way those. Well, Never mind. I guess they could have been having a thing.
Puritan
She was
teenage
like
girls
13.
jealous of the older women.
He was like
and
60,
the men
though.
looking at the younger girls going, why did I?
All right. That's not Halloween. That's just improper behavior.
Where's the saxophone music when you need it?
Well, you have the buttons. What do you
No, I
have a
don't.
button for anything
It doesn't
exciting?
matter. I
now?
don't. No, I don't actually.
Oh, you did your creepy beginning, and that's
I
all
did my
you
creepy
got?
begin. Well, yeah, there wasn't anything else. Come on, man.
There were all of those. I sent you a
I couldn't watch
list.
any of them. That's all Amazon Prime links.
Well, you didn't have to watch them.
If you send me links, you need to send me working links, man.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, but that's all it is.
So many. He's pure evil.
Lies. Oh, lies!
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For all of you at home, I just rolled my eyes at him appropriately.
You could probably hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hard roll.
All right.
So what you got? What you got there, Halloween girl?
Babies born on Halloween, superstitions. You're going to have second sight, obviously, right? Because you are able to cross over
like Pink Floyd.
Yes, there you go. Second sight.
I've got second sight.
You're going to be immune to evil spirits. So you're protected. I think I already said that.
Nice.
That's
a bonus.
It's such a dichotomy of beliefs because you've got the two extremes. Black cats in some cultures, terrifying animals to what do they call it? A familiar. There you go. And that Satan would come as a black cat so he could be a familiar to a witch. And then in other cultures, the Irish and the Scottish and some other, obviously the Egyptians think black cats are good luck. It's
okay.
not. Yeah.
And Europeans thought all cats for a while. According to, here, I'm going to read this one actually because I thought this was kind of interesting. It's unlucky to give birth on Halloween. All right, that is a belief. As it turns out, whether you've spent a lot of time thinking about it, a lot of women appear to believe that. And because of it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that giving birth on Halloween is bad luck. So according to researchers at Yale University's public health, they've actually tracked it, and birth rates tend to drop off on October 31st. Fewer women actually give birth on the 31st, and they believe that it may be subconsciously that a woman is like, willing herself not to give birth. The hormones have to set pregnancy off. It has to set the actual birthing process. Valentine's Day shoots up. Women love to give birth on Valentine's Day. February 14th, they like that. Because apparently they don't think about the whole Valentine's Day massacre. They think Day of Love. Yay, it's a good day to give birth. There. And so I think we're all aware of my feelings of Valentine's Day.
Yes, I know. We've expressed that here before. Mr. G. Long does not do Valentine's. I've accepted that. It's just a defect in his personality.
No, it's not.
It's just a little kink in our. Oh, I can't use the word kink, huh? That's a whole different.
You can in this case because you were going to use it in a reference to a chain, right?
Yeah, it's a kink. It's a kink in the chain of our relationship.
We weren't talking kinky. Kink.
No, we've already done that episode. We can go back to it. There's still a lot of stuff. People get weirder all the time. There's new kinks.
Well, I'm trying
constantly.
to think if you don't want to have a baby on October 31st,
you really just
so February would be the month, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that you're like holding on.
Keeping your legs crossed tight.
You're just not birthing, and you're going to keep that baby a few more months. No, it's just that.
But of course, all of that's nonsense because time has no meaning. There is
but
no.
This is scientific.
No, but there is no October 31st.
All right.
It's a man's it's creation.
Yes, time
we're
is created.
Cruising through the universe. We're just moving forward. We've created this little nice grid so we can organize our lives.
Well, because that's how we work. I mean,
right, but
that's the whole point about superstitions. What was it?
Superstitions. Why they're stupid?
Well, no, and they all do say that they're so silly. Many superstitions come from the same human trait that causes us to believe in monsters and ghosts. When our brain can't explain something, we make shit up. A 2010 study found that superstitions, though, can sometimes work, right? Just like the thing with the not birthing.
Yeah, not walking under a ladder.
Well, yeah, and actually,
makes sense.
That was kind of interesting.
Walking under a ladder is bad luck. No kidding, man. A paint can lay on your head.
Well, the theory on that one holds that superstition arises from a Christian belief that the Holy Trinity, in the Holy Trinity. A ladder leaning against a wall forms a triangle. Breaking that triangle is blasphemous. Another theory on that one, though, is that it looks like medieval gallows. And
well, wait a minute. A ladder has a little crossbar, right? So if you walk under the crossbar, you're not breaking the triangle because the triangle is technically above you.
I think if we're talking about that far back, you're not talking about a ladder with a crossbar. You're talking about something that you just lean up against a wall.
So a right angle.
Yeah, well, they weren't doing the math.
But a right angle does not have equal corners.
Yeah.
See, I got problems with this theory.
So, anyhow, find a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck.
No, that's nonsense.
It came from the rhyme originally, see a pin, P-I-N, not P-E-N. See a pin, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck. See a pin, let it lay, and your luck will pass away. I do pick a penny up, and I say it when I do it. You've known me a long time.
You do.
I pick money up. See a penny, pick it up. I mumble it to myself if I don't say it out loud, but I say it every time.
Yeah.
And I'm more reasonable than that.
Well, your dad had a superstition on.
Oh, Daddy was
it was the knife superstition. Mm-hmm. When he gave me a knife, he asked me for a penny, and I didn't understand. And then he explained that if you give a knife and as opposed to sell a knife, that it will cut the friendship.
It will cut the friendship.
And so if you give him a penny, then you've bought the knife for a penny. And it's all good.
That's it. That's it. The fear of 666.
Oh, I don't even want to get into
3 6s in
that.
a row. Superstition that goes all the way back to the Bible as well.
And it's Nero. It's Nero.
It's given. The number of the beast. Of course.
It's Nero.
In the Book of Revelations. Yes, I know. Tell them.
I don't want to get into it because.
Okay. Because it's too long.
It's too long, and it's hard to explain because it requires some charting. But there's a reason that those books refer to Nero.
All right. Well, what about making a wish?
Which, don't get me wrong, beast, against Christians.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. They should have been terrified. We actually looked at that.
It's the style of writing that many of them did then, and they created to look like prophecy, but it's actually writing and reflecting what's happening right then.
At that moment.
And
if you look at their history,
if you look at what Nero was doing to Christians, they weren't really welcomed. But it's okay. It's all good. Christians going to win in the end. They take over Rome.
Yeah.
They screw up Samhain.
Well, I don't know. It's a multi-billion-dollar holiday today for the world.
$3 to $5 billion
on costumes
for Halloween
and candies and all the
with Halloween
recruitments that go with it.
Where we at 40? Okay. With Halloween, something changed though. When we were growing up, we're talking late 70s, actually the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s. That was
moving
my
into
time.
the 80s too. It wasn't too bad. You kids could just go, and everybody was doing
Daddy
Halloween.
Just
Everything
sent
was
me
fine.
out after I was of a certain age.
But something clicked in the 70s into the 80s that started screwing up Halloween for a lot of kids.
The news?
In a way, it is the news. It's something, and I've referred to it before, called the Satanic Panic.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, and I'm assuming it's because so many people started absorbing evangelical TV shows. In the 80s, cable came
That's true.
of age.
Yes.
And every channel had multiple guys talking about religion.
And they had to fill more time
Pastors.
because you had more time.
But you also had this mainstream guys like Billy Graham and Schuler, some of these mainstream guys, but you had a lot of crazies on there as well. And along with them and the media, suddenly this whole idea that Satan was out to get us all the time.
Well, they thought that anyway.
Well, but
it was a battle between good and evil.
Right, but Halloween had by and large evaded a lot of that nonsense.
Sure, we had been a community thing, and kids went out and had fun.
And it started in the 70s, but it really came of age in the 80s, and it attacked even board games like Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, my God.
Oh, that set people off. I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where the poor kid dies.
And we had this moment where satanic ritual abuse stories started popping up everywhere.
Well, kind of like there's a razor blade in the apple. Don't eat the candy.
Which didn't happen.
Didn't happen. In fact, until about now with the fentanyl scare, there wasn't one real case of a case. There was one kid who I think was poisoned, but it was his father.
His father tried to kill him.
His father did it. So be aware. He wanted the candy. Dad just wanted all the candy for himself.
Right. And to show you how bad it got, Eventually, satanic ritual abuse became known in the media as just SRA.
Oh, they had an acronym for
Yes.
it. We use it so much that we just use an acronym.
The stories began in the United States and they spread through a large part of the world by the 90s and are persisting even today in some places, even Africa. Satanic Panic stories spread into Africa.
But we went through the judicial system with it.
Well,
Those people were...
It's a book in 1980 called Michelle Remembers.
You mean people read books then?
Yeah. And this woman named Michelle Smith supposedly had memories that were recovered through hypnosis by one particular guy. And it's a psychologist by the name of Pazder.
Oh, past memories.
Yes, past memory regression therapy.
Yes.
Well, then that started happening. More and more psychologists realized there was money to be made.
Well, sure.
In
if you
past
start
life
convincing
regression.
people that, oh, I know, there must be something in your past that you're just not remembering.
Right.
You
And-
need to feel it.
And so all of a sudden, we had these dissociative identity disorders and multiple personality disorders, and people talking in languages that sounded vaguely Latinish. And then you also, along with that, had conspiracy theories about people doing things as well.
And then you had the Catholic Church still doing exorcisms as they do today.
Oh, sure.
So that lends credence to
But,
all of it.
So many people now in the Christian community say you should never celebrate Halloween ever.
It lets it's opening. It lets the devil into your life.
Right. And I found to just give you an example, I found a story about, and it's a person's blog. It's a personal blog, but
So it's just opinion.
they're quoting throughout the story Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan.
Oh, dear Lord.
And what's great about that, for anybody who doesn't know, is he was an atheist. He didn't believe in Satan.
He didn't believe in either side.
He didn't believe in either side. He was absolutely an atheist, but he did things and said things just to rile up Christians.
Well, and he
found it funny.
he was making money on
And
it.
he was making a
Because
fortune.
when you say outrageous things, the
People
other
will give you
side's
money.
they're gonna
Well, look, we
latch
know
on.
it's true. If you say outrageous things, if you show your boobies on the internet, you're going to make
If
money.
you say outrageous things, you're going to become
If you say
president
outrageous
of the
things
United
and
States.
show your boobies, well, you can maximize your profit.
That goes back to my theory that our presidents in the future will come from their TikTok popularity. We're definitely going to be electing some TikTok content creator in the future who has like 8 million followers because there's money there.
This lady writing the blog said that Anton LaVey took joy in Christians who take part in Halloween. Here's a quote. I'm glad that Christian parents let their children worship the devil at least one night out of the year. Welcome to Halloween. Well, I'm sure many parents would be surprised that they were allowing their kids
Yes,
to.
they'd be horrified. So, of course, they need to stop all that.
John LaVey's statement is corroborated by a former Satanist, John Ramirez. By the way, the guy has been absolutely proved to be he's full of it. Anyway, he said, when you dress up as even an angel for Halloween,
Sweet little Cinderella.
you give the devil the legal right to change your identity.
So if you put on a mask, it allows the devil in?
It gives him the legal right.
Well, wait a minute now. We've been asked as a world, our globe has been asked to wear masks. We were all wearing masks. Well,
Ramirez said in 2018
majority.
in an interview on 60 Minutes. So he's been discredited, but he's still out there.
Still got on TV.
I was a general to the kingdom of darkness and witchcraft. I would sit with the devil and talk to him like I'm talking to you today.
Oh, wait. Was he making that statement then after he reformed himself?
Yes,
Did he
he's a pastor now.
in a Christian church?
Well, of course. It was that kind of communication. It was that kind of relationship. So he just sat down and talked to the devil.
Okay, so in other words, the money ran out on the Satan side, so he had to quickly revert to the Christian side so he could continue to get a paycheck?
Yeah, you see that a lot, actually, in these stories.
Well, that's always my first thing is always, where's the money coming from? Do you know that I got a text message from President Donald Trump Friday?
No way.
Yes, a text. President Donald Trump. It wasn't an old text. It was brand new. Still using that moniker. Is that allowed? President? Yeah, it didn't say former.
Technically, you can. That is actually true.
I want that former attached to it. I just don't want it. The text message. Don't send me that.
Anyway,
That's like, I had to throw that in because you weren't at school with me Friday.
I'm sorry.
And stuff happened.
I was taking the dog to the vet.
I know, but
so-
I couldn't talk to you.
So the Satanic Panic caused a bunch of these people, and this is what's weird. Dozens of people came out saying they were members of the Church of Satan. All were basically outed as not being members of the Church of Satan.
Well,
Many of them.
you just say it, aren't you? If you
No,
say it, you are.
No.
What do you have to do?
You have to belong.
Well, I belong how?
Well, I would imagine you become a paying member of the Church of Satan.
Satan requires you to make a payment?
No, the guy that runs the Church of Satan requires you to make a
Well,
payment.
I mean, if I just turned around today and said, all right, that's it. I'm a member of this. I'm going to worship
We saw
Satan.
the new guy not too long ago on a documentary, and he was the same way. He just laughs about it.
He laughs. Yeah, it was
He's-
a joke.
he's just poking-
He's using the media and social media for
and making
exactly
money.
what it does, which is
And also, it's a legal group. Basically, what his goal is if the government tries to impose Christianity in any public thing,
Yes.
they fight it.
well, because there seems to be with our
But they don't
politicians.
fight it by fighting it. They fight it by saying, well, that's fine.
Then you have to.
Then you have to allow
You
us.
have to acknowledge us
And-
too.
and because it's a registered church, the government has to do that.
Well,
so it usually shuts it down. That's usually
really,
what
and I
their
think
goal
they
is.
are fighting a good fight in the sense that a lot of people, especially people in politics right now, don't seem to understand that our Constitution and our Bill of Rights means that we are free from religion. The government
Well, no,
cannot.
Pence said you have no right to not have religion forced upon you.
Then he's
He said it just 3 days ago.
What's the word I want? An F nut. He's a
dumbass. Read the First Amendment. It's pretty clear. You have the right to walk away, and they don't have the right to harass you.
England went through this. You have to be Christian. You have to be Protestant. We came over
Now,
here
saying
and
all
said,
of
you
that,
can't tell us what to
I
do.
haven't been hit over the head, hammered by somebody to become a Christian. You know what I mean? The folks that I know that are Christians don't do that. They really don't.
No.
They'll bring it up occasionally, and they talk about, they'll pray for you, and then that's fine.
Oh, I accept all prayers.
Absolutely.
Please play. Yes. I
But we're
wouldn't
talking
necessarily
about
say
we're talking
prayer.
about
I say
here.
good thoughts, but if I say I'm praying for you, then that means
Yeah.
I'm thinking positive things for you.
But we're talking here about Halloween and the fact that
Oh, but that I'm a Satan's child. I remember. Okay.
no, but it's about a bunch of people in the 80s who using a scare tactic to make money.
You know what the scare tactic was in the 80s? The hair. Men and women both. Put your Aquanet away.
And
Stop teasing it.
And if you think the Satanic Panic wasn't that bad, the final culmination to me of the Satanic Panic was the West Memphis Three. Three boys
see,
who
I
dressed
was-
like goths
Yeah.
that were accused of murder. There was no evidence.
No, they
None.
didn't kill it. Well, wait, didn't it come out later that it was like one of the uncles?
Yeah, that's what they think.
Yeah.
They
They're
were
still working on that case.
They spent 18 years of their life in prison for a crime they didn't commit. And this was all because of people being terrified of Satan. Even Geraldo Rivera had a show. His 2020 show one time did a special about Satan in America.
Oh, Geraldo.
And it was and the people he had on the panel discussing it, 3 of them have been proven to be outright frauds. They weren't where they said they were, and they didn't
so
belong
their
to the
alibis
groups.
were just lies.
They were just
all
lies.
along, yeah.
And then he pulled poor Ozzy Osbourne in from on television, asking about his lyrics. And it's great because Geraldo's like, Ozzy, I know your lyrics aren't as bad as, well, Iron Maiden and Slayer. I'm like, Slayer?
Wait.
Really? He goes, but don't you feel some guilt for exposing so many people to Satan?
Really?
Yeah. He asked, and Ozzy's like, I'm a really nice guy. I wasn't trying to do anything. I mean,
He's
I
just singing
got
some
a couple
songs.
songs about Satan, but that's it. It's just poor Ozzy. I think Ozzy's problem is his brain short-circuited because he must have been in the back of his going, this can't be real.
I know, right? They don't really believe all this. Fairies wear boots. What? Actually, that's one of my favorites, but
Actually, yeah.
Fairies wear-
That was an anti-Vietnam song.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I just like the song.
I
I
do
like
too.
that whole Black Sabbath album.
Good album.
It was a good album. And I wasn't influenced to worship Satan in
Yeah.
any way.
It kicks ass.
Yes, Beavis, it does kick ass.
It very much does kick ass.
All right. So let's see. What have we learned here, kids?
Go do Halloween and let your kids enjoy Halloween, and don't panic. Look, if somehow Satan's going to get into your life, I don't think
it's not going to be on October 31st.
Halloween's pretty obvious, don't you think?
Yeah, it's too obvious.
Yeah.
Satan's going to be a little more clever than that.
Guy Fawkes Day.
Ah, yeah.
And November 5th.
What about May 13th?
There you go.
Whatever the hell that was all about.
I don't even know what Valentine's Day. That's a
Yeah, we know. Hallmark
Yeah,
greeting cards.
yeah.
It's going to be the marketers that are going to get your kids.
Well, they've gotten everybody.
They've gotten everybody.
Social media is the
Yeah,
devil.
I know. I always go back to 12
Really,
Monkeys.
truly, if you want to look at a tool for Satan, I think the phone is probably
The cell phone?
it's certainly not a piece of candy.
Yeah.
If Satan's coming after your kid, which one's going to make it easier?
Yeah,
a
which
bag
one's
of
gonna take
candy
their soul?
or that stupid cell phone?
It's going to be TikTok. They're coming to your house.
That's the
through
Chinese.
TikTok. Well, yeah, that's more terrifying, isn't it? Godless Chinese.
Godless.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
You know, we watched Arachnophobia last night, and I got a thing about spiders right here because I did Superstitions and babies born on Halloween. That was my aspect to the research of
Delicious
our
babies.
podcast. I've heard that. And so, you know, people are just scared of spiders. Anyway, creepy, crawly spiders. But they're part of Halloween as well as part of the evil companions of witches. The superstition was that if a spider falls into a candlelit lamp and is consumed by the flame, right? We watched them burn up last night.
Yep.
That there is a witch nearby, and also if you spot a spider on Halloween, then that means the spirit of a dead loved one is watching over you. See, I take comfort in that. I take comfort in the idea that. You know, on Halloween, you have this lowered veil between the two worlds, and that your loved ones it's comforting.
Me. I mean, it's comforting, sure.
Yes. So
I just don't believe in superstitions and any of that stuff.
No, I don't either. And I say that as a person who always picks up a penny.
Well, my only issue is that, as I've always said, like ghosts and everything else, I'm built to need proof.
Yeah. Missouri, Shelby State. I know.
I'm sorry. That's just how I'm built.
But can you just accept some things can't be explained?
Absolutely.
And we can just say we're not. And
But I don't think things are going to violate the laws of physics.
I think it was like when you're telling me about what you're reading in the snake oil, you know, cures of the past.
Oh, quackery?
Yeah, the quackery. And it's like we just didn't know then, you know. When COVID first came out, we just didn't know then. So now once we become more educated, it just takes time for something to be explained.
Well, you'd like to think that until you read quackery, where you find people who are like,
oh, we're still doing it.
But it's like, here's this poison.
Yes.
We need to take less of it, and that will poison the badness out of you. Chemo does the same thing, right? Chemo is poison,
sure,
but it's just poisoning you a little.
Well, and that's the whole thing behind a polio vaccine.
But they were using like arsenic and strychnine, and
they put mercury in makeup for,
mercury suppositories. Mercury suppositories.
There's no other.
Radiated water. They had a tankard that you could make your own radioactive water.
Okay. Now we've gone into the realm of spooky.
No, we've gone into the realm of going to be another podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say that has to come up later. We've done food. Now we have to do poison.
Spooky.
All right. We have learned some things.
We have.
I have things to do.
Yeah.
It's my birthday tomorrow, you know.
Well, actually, technically, the podcast is going out tomorrow, so it's today.
It's my birthday.
Do you see how I did that? We shifted time.
What are you going to say to me?
When?
On my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's so plain.
Happy birthday, Deb.
Oh, God. Man, I can't get anything out of you.
Happy.
Communicate, sir.
Happy, joy, happy, joy.
For somebody who communicates so much and you don't want to communicate.
I communicate all the time. I will say happy birthday. I will say I love you.
Oh, there we go.
I'll edit that out.
Everybody tells me happy birthday. That's just blah.
Yeah, but people don't need to be telling you I love you.
Well, no, probably
although I don't
not.
know that
yeah, I'm not a touchy kind of sentimental. I don't know you don't love me.
Yeah, don't keep your paws
I don't
off
know.
me. Don't touch me.
I don't know you. Don't you love me? How dare you?
Don't touch those.
Don't look at that.
My eyes are up here, buddy.
Come on. All right. So,
Ma'am, my eyes are up here.
don't be afraid of Halloween. There's no satanic panic.
No, there was a satanic
Well,
panic.
there was a satanic
It's
panic.
still going on,
but you
too, by
need
the
to
way.
let those things go. Look, when something has been proven false, let it die.
They
Don't
can't.
carry on a stereotype.
They can't do it.
We perpetually believe things that have been proven not true. I always say that to the kids, especially girls. Once there has been a rumor about you, how do you disprove it? And usually it results in a conversation that's come because somebody got into a fight, because they think if they fight the girl that said it, right?
Yeah.
Or if a boyfriend fights the guy that said it, then his girlfriend's reputation will be redeemed. Either people are going to believe it or they're not going to believe it. There is nothing you can do about it except carry on. If they call you a whore and you continue to behave like one, then it's proven true. And so what? Go on.
There you go.
If you're not, then just be who you are, and the people who are friends of yours will know that you're not really a whore, and it's all good. And I don't know why being a whore is so terrible. There, I said it.
If you're in control.
If you're in control.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's your body. Do what you want.
That's it.
I don't have to like it. Just,
Somebody
that's what it is.
will.
But we've got a whole, look, what hookers today can do.
Oh, yeah, you have so much more power.
OnlyFans is a video
Oh, yeah.
hooker service.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know how long that stuff will last. And
I don't
know.
either.
I don't know what Sex in the Future is going to be about, if it's going to be all internet like that.
I've
or-
got something very important, though, to wrap up the show.
Do you? So you're taking me out of where I was headed.
Oh, no, go
Which
ahead.
was just I was going to say a rabbit hole, but
Oh,
you know what? We've come full circle. We started with holes and we're back to holes. There you go.
leave my,
Your face is red now.
let my holes go. Speaking of a rabbit hole, or perhaps maybe,
Oh, fuzzy.
there's a new book out today.
Okay.
Would you like to know the title?
Does it have to do with holes?
Yes, actually.
Okay. Get it?
An asshole. It's called President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ, by Helgard Mueller.
Wait, a German wrote about Trump as the son of Christ?
Yes, indeed.
Well, there's blasphemy.
I'm going to read the opening paragraph.
Well,
of the
wait,
book.
is this going to be like its own podcast? If it is, you got to stop there. Or is this just like a onesie?
This is one up. I'm not going to go through it. This,
Okay,
this
all
is
right.
so stupid. This guy is
But wait,
clearly nuts. He
here,
needs to be arrested.
We
Talk
gotta
about spooky.
Should we do a disclaimer? Do you need to do a disclaimer for those who love Trump or love Christ, either way, or love the Germans? I don't know.
The opinions of G. Long do not reflect the management of the Long in the Boot podcast in any way.
Okay, I'll shut up.
So, President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ. Opening paragraph. President Donald J. Trump is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Son of Man, who will be seen seated in the place of power at God's right hand, coming on the clouds of heaven. You've read that correctly.
Oh, wow, Mueller.
President Donald J. Trump is the Christ for this age, the son of King David. The prophecies of Jesus and all the prophets point to President Donald J. Trump as the Son of Man, the Christ. And then it follows, ... I have proof.
Oh, DNA evidence?
I have just a couple of his proofs to wrap. This is just comedy. This is,
Okay. So are you going to lead us out, Mr. G. Long, please?
well, it turns out that Trump's father, Fred, his middle name, Christ,
His parents named him Fred Christ Trump.
according to Mr. Mueller.
I need a birth certificate.
I know. Hang on. Another proof?
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus decried false prophets. Trump decried fake news.
Oh, proof.
Another one. Jesus cast out demons. Trump cast out Obama and Clinton.
Well, Hillary, right?
And why is that? You might say that's not the same. Alex Jones says they are literal demons from hell.
Oh, Obama and Hillary?
Yep.
Okay, well, Hillary, but I don't know about Obama. I don't really.
Jesus references the word truth 22 times in the Gospels. Trump started Truth Social.
Oh, more proof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, a couple more.
Please don't.
Jesus was betrayed by Judas. Trump was betrayed by Mike Pence.
He really was. Pence thought he was a lunatic.
Jesus was literally crucified between two criminals. Trump was figuratively crucified between Michael Flynn and Roger Stone, both of whom he pardoned.
You know, the MyPillow guy has gone off on his own deep end, too.
As Helgard puts it, there are just too many parallels between Jesus, the Son of God, and President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man.
Well, that's just too much blasphemy for me. That is terrifying. Terrifying.
Talk about a satanic panic.
That's it.
But yeah, that's actually that. I'm not making any of that up.
Did he publish his own book, or did he find a publishing house? I wonder.
I think he found a publishing house.
I mean,
wait a minute.
I know anybody can publish their own book these days.
The book was published by Outskirts Press.
Who are they?
Outskirts Press guarantees that you too can publish your own book your way.
See, that's...
But that hasn't kept the book from garnering 57 customer ratings.
Well, see, it's just like what we were talking about earlier. When you say outrageous crap, people will...
It is currently number 328 on Kindle.
Because it's outrageous. Because you're reading it.
$17.76.
Oh, hell no. That's $17 worth of candy. No, that's 5 gallons a well.
The best thing about the article about the book is that it's a Christian who's writing the article just ripping this guy apart.
Well, thank goodness.
And a Christian educator and missionary who actually comes from Russia and the Ukraine.
Wait, Russia and the Ukraine?
He said, quote, "Well, I don't believe Trump was really a good president. I'm especially sure he's not the Son of God."
I don't think either one of those things are factual. Thank you, sir.
I think that is wrong.
And that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. All right. Well, I guess I should let you go and do the things you need to do.
Yes.
I hear you're going to go buy some drugs.
I'm going to go to Walgreens and pick up a prescription I've been waiting on for 2 damn weeks.
That's what I said.
You want terror, folks? Don't get your arthritis meds for 2 weeks and see how you feel.
That's what I said. I'm going to buy drugs.
No, and then I'm going down to Rouse's because I'm going to get me some Halloween stuff.
Halloween stuff and a couple of their delicious frozen pizzas.
I don't have a family that gives me a birthday cake.
I get no money for this, but the Rouse's brand little frozen pizzas that are imported from Italy.
Those are amazing. Yeah.
So good.
But I'm going for my own birthday cake because that's how sad my life is.
Well, it was because the bakery wasn't open yesterday.
I know.
ZZ's was not open.
ZZ's, she was doing
on Halloween weekend.
It's because Facebook does not give me my social media posts when they should. If I follow somebody and I like things on their page, like my own family.
Mark Zuckerberg doesn't care about old people.
Old people, black people, white people, Kanye. Christian people, devil people.
That was my Kanye.
Oh, that's your Kanye.
Yeah, remember?
He could be his own episode.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
George Bush doesn't care about black people. Poor Mike Myers was on the stage next to him going,
how do I get out of this? I don't want to be seen with him.
Can we cut this?
Poor Kanye. There, you see, there's where Satan got in. Oh, it's the Kardashians. That's the in for Satan in America.
Oh, no question. I thought it was Madonna, but no, I think it's the Kardashians.
Well, but there's only one of her. There's the Kardashians are just.
They keep making more.
Oh, my Lord. Northwest, south, east.
Soon an army of Kardashians.
Big ass is jiggling. Okay. We should stop because now it's getting real.
We might get sued. The opinions of the hosts of Long in the Boot do not reflect the management of Long in the Boot.
We're not trademarked in any way.
Any descriptions of anyone living or dead are purely coincidental.
That's it.
And everything, and I do mean everything, can be taken with a grain of salt. That's the way I see it.
But you need to throw that salt over your right shoulder.
Nothing that we say derogatory about anybody is not said in a manner that would mean that we mean allegedly.
Okay. So,
like Donald Trump.
So there's no liable here.
Donald Trump isn't the Son of God, allegedly.
Okay. Well, keep that going, baby.
Halloween is not evil. Allegedly.
There you go.
Deb is not evil for being born on Halloween. Allegedly.
But she can be cold-hearted.
That's a cold, hard truth right there. She's a hard woman.
I am not. You are never going to get anybody as easygoing as me. You were never going to get anybody as easygoing as me.
Hang on, I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right. Tell me who she is, and I'll go.
Go whoop up on her.
I got ways.
Witchcraft.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, my people.
Well, I'm going to be cooking dinner for you, allegedly.
And you people go out and take those babies and do what you're going to do.
Yeah. Go get some candy. Go get some candy for your kids. Get your kids, give them a pillowcase, get them a costume, let them go door to door. If you don't live in a place like that, go to a place like that. Have some fun.
Have some Halloween fun.
Enjoy Halloween for what it is. Just a good time.
Yeah, just another memory.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
The best part of it all is no matter who it was that screwed up Halloween, they were wrong.
Yeah, and here we are in America spending all that time and money. But it's just all memories.
It's all fun.
Yeah, you go take that joy and bring it with you because it's portable.
I've heard that.
I know. I say it often. Bye.
So that takes care of that. And now we're going to suit up.
I like it when we suit up. It means stuff's about to happen.
I don't even have my earbuds on yet. Hang on.
That's fine. You don't.
Well, they're not buds, really.
Well, no, I like this better than earbuds. I don't like things in my ear holes.
No, I don't like things in my holes either.
I said ear holes. I'm not totally against things in other holes all the time.
Hey, now, be careful. Be
What?
Careful.
You know me, so you think I'm going to say something wildly inappropriate.
Well, that was pretty inappropriate right there.
It was not inappropriate.
It was a little bit inappropriate, I think.
Oh, my God. Well, then maybe I just stop talking. That's how this would end. I'd stop talking.
Dream the impossible
You are
dream.
so full of shit. If I stopped talking to you, you would lose your mind.
Okay.
Okay, if I stopped talking, then you would just talk incessantly with no feedback. That would drive you crazy.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely butthead. Always, I am butthead.
I agree.
You're Beavis. Beavis is 10 points down on the IQ scale from butthead.
Fire. Well, I don't know, though. He always comes up out of nowhere, with suddenly he has this like breakthrough and he'll figure something. He'll just kind of go,
Well, no, that's usually butthead.
oh yeah.
That's why I said.
I like Beavis's voice better.
Oh, yeah.
Butthead's is too.
Well, I like Beavis's insanity when he, gets some
coffee.
He gets some sugar.
Yep.
Like the children will soon.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I have a lovely beginning today. All right. All this is probably going to go at the end. And bread. Can't forget. We're going to hear it soon. Just be
like David Gates and Bread, the band?
No, not the band.
Oh.
God, they suck.
I loved that when I was a preteen.
As I was saying.
Leif Garrett, Donny Osmond, David Gates and Bread.
Yeah.
I also had some Ozzy in there, and I liked a lot of the Black Sabbath, and Jethro Tull, and I had a variety background.
Oh, well.
All right.
Okay, you ready to start? Because the opening is kind of long.
How long? How many seconds?
No. Like 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, but it's a build. You got to build.
That seems excessive.
I know, but it's all worth it for the payoff.
TikTok people don't have that kind of time
it's worth
frame.
It's worth it. You heard it this morning. You heard it's worth the payoff.
I heard it outside when I was behind the window, and you freaked me out. I thought you were dying in here, and I needed to come running in. Do it. Push the button.
Oh, wrong one. That won't be on the show either.